Do you want to support me while also getting some cool WWE swag? Well, now you can, because I am an affiliate of WWEshop.com. Just head to the link in the description of this video, click that little bad boy, and it will bring up WWE Shop. Purchase as normal, whether it's shirts, whether it's championship titles, whether it's memorabilia, anything you want on WWE Shop, as long as you use my link, because doing so will give me a commission off your purchase. Therefore, you can support me and rep the WWE's latest swag all throughout their shop. So just head to the link in the description of this video, purchase as normal, and you're also supporting me.
Amigos,
Hola.
como español.
Nah, that's all I know. Delicioso or whatever Dora says.
Do you want to hear my Spanish? Do you want to hear how to say Dora the Explorer in Spanish?
Sure.
Dora the Explorer, it's Spanish, yeah.
It's getting worse. The jokes are just...
I'm still delusional.
I'm
still like tired and delusional on a Wednesday at time of recording.
It's been 2 weeks since we've recorded. We did record last week, but it just didn't work.
We did record.
We were so fucking wiped. I was watching a little bit of that back like yesterday, may have even been today, and I was like, holy fuck. We were two dead people.
Yeah, we
were
really
dead. We were not alive recording that.
Mm.
I'm still a little bit wiped, but not as wiped as I was. Monday was a pretty difficult day. I'm not
but you didn't have to go to work Monday.
I had to catch up on life, and it was fucked.
Like what, though?
I had to go do grocery shopping and shit, and like just, do stuff, did my washing, all that kind of stuff, and I was just like, I'm so fucking tired. I was glad I wasn't at work, because I would have been fucked.
Yeah, well, I did the hard yards of getting up the next morning to go to work.
Not only that, remember, I didn't get home until like 1:20 in the morning.
Yeah, well, I couldn't go to sleep straight away because,
Girl, I sped home, though. Oh, my God. Not advocating for any of that, but I was done. I needed to get in my own bed.
We were ready for home time
because,
by a long way.
Ray was more than happy to say, you can stay at my house. It's fine. Just stand. I was not having it. I was like, nah, I'm going home, which I think you understood. He was like, nah, I get it. You need to go in your own bed. I need a shit in my own toilet. I need a shower in my own shower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was wiped. Fuck the time difference. I know it's only 2.5 hours, but fuck that time difference between here and Perth. Fuck the plane ride. Fuck it. I hated it. Hated both ways.
It was
fucked.
It was alright.
It was not good.
I've been on many a longer flight than that, so that one's a cakewalk bump.
But there was like a screaming kid on the plane on the way home, and the dude in front of me wanted to fucking put his chair all the way back. I was like, can you not? They were attractive, but that's not the point.
Hey, yeah, he thought he was the main character of the movie, didn't he?
He was not the main character of even that 3-person fucking group.
Yeah, exactly.
His two friends he was the Michelle of that Destiny's Child group right there.
Yeah.
It was like, but we did try to record last week. It didn't work. And then we were so wiped that we just didn't have the energy to do it again. And we knew we were going to have more to talk about this week anyway.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have missed much than last week. I think we did try to record. I think it went about half an hour.
I think so,
and it was just a ramble, really.
It was, because we were just wiped. Thursday was a rough day. It was a rough day of travel and then walking around. It was hot. We were hungry.
Should we give a blow-by-blow recount of the day? Let's go through the day, because the day started on... Actually, let's start Wednesday night. So... Let's start Wednesday, actually. So, Josh sends me a message at, I want to say about 10 o'clock during the day. And I was at work, just grinding. Josh sends me a message, and it was a picture of his bag packed, ready to go, just being like keen. And I was like, oh, shit, yeah. But I sent him a message back saying, does it shock you that I haven't packed yet? Which your response was, not in the slightest.
No, I wasn't lying.
No, but I packed when I got home. It took me no time at all. Did I pack everything I needed? No.
No.
But was it fine? Yes.
Did
It
I
was
pack
fun.
about 6 times the amount that I needed? Yes.
Yeah.
It is two opposite ends of the spectrum with you and
Apples to oranges, you could call it.
You could say that. Haha. But we are being away with you for 4 days makes me realize of just truly how different we are, which is,
There's nothing wrong with that.
probably why we get along is because we're so polar opposites of one another. Just in pretty much everything. Like we don't really cross paths. Like I guess we don't piss each other off either because it's just like, well, I do it this way, you do it this way. We're not going to overlap here, which is good. What's the fucking saying? Opposites attract or whatever that bullshit or anything like that is. But we are just the opposite of one another. I think we kind of honestly live vicariously through each other because it's like, what is it like to be like that? Because I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, me either. I'm just like, there was some things that you were like, we got to do this. And I'm like, I think that's a lot of my attitude. You actually, spoiler alert to the rest of the story, we go to an arcade a lot. Well, I go to an arcade a lot. And you describe my personality like the coin tipping game, like very slow and methodical, just a bit boring.
I wouldn't say boring. You're not a boring person. It's very slow. It's very relaxed. It's just a very methodical pace to everything.
Yeah, I'm definitely not putting out a character here.
I'm just like fucking, let's go. I'm just like, like just a little bit, just chaos goes on a little bit more around me than you. But I don't know. I guess we just balance each other out when we're together, to be honest, because it's just one is going at 100 miles per hour and one is going at about 2.
Yeah.
And it's just, we just meet in the middle, I guess. But yeah, Thursday was, we flew. So Wednesday night, I stayed at Ray's because I didn't want to drive up at 1 a.m. from where I live.
We did a quiz of all quiz.
It was just like Riddle Central. It was, as you can imagine, it was truly just my living fucking hell.
The 1% Club, for those of you playing the home game. We watched that and played along with that. Josh was not having it, but it was fun. I will be doing that as soon as I finish recording.
I will not.
Oh. So yeah, we woke up 3:30 in the morning. Our alarms went off.
3, actually.
Oh,
my
was
friend.
It? No, we left at 3:30, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, PTSD still. I'm getting all the details.
I was asleep for about 20 minutes, it felt like.
I slept quite well. So we woke up at 3, left the house by 3:30, got to the airport at about 4, parked the car, walked over, checked our bags in, and at 4:10, I want to say, let's call it a gentleman's 4:15 for argument's sake, we were having a coffee in the airport. Well, I was having a coffee. Josh was having a coffee milkshake.
I was having a fucking oat milk cappuccino.
There is so much milk and froth in a cappuccino.
Which now I've learnt that, no, that's not on because it's a milkshake. I was like, just let me enjoy my coffee.
I think I have a theory that cappuccinos are like entry-level coffee. That's what people drink when they get into coffee.
I've been drinking them since I was 16.
Oh, well, you haven't grown up yet.
It was 12 years ago.
So, yeah, cappuccino, and I was having a latte because I'm fancy like that. And we were greeted by probably the worst humans on the planet.
In your opinion, anyway.
There was a group of women.
I just have never seen Ray so invested in something in my entire life.
There was a group of women, obviously on a hen's weekend. So one had bridal attire on. She was obviously the bride. All of her friends had matching outfits on, all had matching shirts that said Team Bride on them. And they all had matching tote bags with their names on them.
That part really, I didn't get too heavily angry at these women. That part did did irritate me a little. The only thing that could have made it worse if it was hashtag Team Bride.
Oh,
That would
yeah.
have sent me over the fucking edge.
Yeah, because they're definitely Facebook type operators. They would of the
Yeah.
Facebook age, so you
Yeah.
don't use hashtags on Facebook.
Well,
Not
no,
really.
but they would no, but they kind of strike me as the
would.
ones that would think you would use hashtags on Facebook.
Yeah, correct. But
Mm.
the thing that pissed me off, it wasn't the matching t-shirts. It was that they'd coordinated their whole outfits. Like they'd obviously rang each other before and said, "What are you wearing?" and then worn exactly the same. And it was just irking me, everything that they did.
And
they were drinking mimosas.
They were, and it was 4:30 in the morning. I kind of sensed that we needed to leave the area rather soon. I was like, let me just finish my coffee and let's get out of here. Also, there was a lot of people in that little cafe in that airport, and it was starting to stress me the fuck out.
Well, it was the only thing open then.
No, there was other places open. Everyone just sat there. It's like, go somewhere else. But yeah, we did see those women, so we're off to a cracking start for that one. As everybody is aware, I'm not a good flyer. Will say I'm very proud of myself this weekend because I think I handled it pretty well.
Yeah, I couldn't have told that you were a bad flyer.
I internally wasn't having a great time, but I did have my music on the way there. I had Jersey Shore on the way home, which again, more reasons why we're just the opposite people, Ray. I'm sitting there on the way home from Perth watching Jersey Shore on my phone. You're sitting there watching Hamilton.
Yeah, it was a good time.
We are two very different human beings.
Yeah. You said internally you were freaking out. Internally, I was doing exactly the same thing for most of the weekend. Just like, okay. Yep. Whatever comes, comes.
Yep. I was stressed the entire weekend.
I wasn't.
So, to be fair, though, Thursday, I probably had a little bit more on my plate than you.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
There was a lot going on going into Friday. Like, I was a nervous sack of shit. Yeah. And I knew that I was nervous. But, to be fair, it wouldn't even matter if I didn't have anything, big. I would still be nervous and you would still not be. So, it's just how we are.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So Thursday morning, because of the time difference, we get into Perth at 10 to 7. Get an Uber to the city. Got to the hotel, which we couldn't check into, but we left our bags at.
Thank God, by the way. And
then we just started chucking laps of Perth Mall for 7 hours.
The first day, I really enjoyed Perth. I was like, what a I would say Perth is I've never been to Perth until this weekend. It is a very beautiful place, in the terms of, just the actual visual of it. I'm like, this is very pretty. It's sort of I don't know, there's just something about it that's just very, pretty. There's not heaps to do, especially when you're just wandering around, but, man, it was wrestling heaven. There was just... It just had taken over the entire city, which was pretty neat to see, which is not something that we're used to. We're not used to watching people, walk around in wrestling shirts and there being posters and it being kind of heavily advertised. They'd really taken over Perth. I really never had understood. When they say, all the time on WWE programming, oh, we have taken over the city. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, cool. But they really did kind of take over the city of Perth, which is neat.
Yeah, there was the superstore in the middle that had pretty much a constant line all weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that there was going to be a lot of people at the show, but I did not expect what do you call it, fanfare, or the obsession, I
get what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, just everyone just
it was chaos.
Absolutely thirsty for it. It was absolutely tonguing for it.
Chaotic. And just so many demographics of people.
Yeah, vast demographics.
There was kids
reached
to
everywhere.
Old people there. It was wild to so yeah, Thursday we really got an understanding of maybe this is a little bit more on a bigger scale than we knew. It was a big deal, international stuff, and we were obviously excited, but this is probably, I was at least realizing this is a pretty big deal. They're kind of invading this city, and that's neat, especially for wrestling fans like us. wrestling is a very it's niche. I'll say it's
but it didn't feel
has
niche.
its opinions.
I don't know about you. I don't know about you, how you felt about it, because maybe you had other things on your mind all weekend. But it also felt very inclusive.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. There was a flavor of every ice cream.
Oh yeah, but no ice cream looked down or up
No.
on.
Everyone was equal. Everyone was just there to have a good time. The amount of strangers that I talked to and had really pleasant interactions with over the weekend was cool. It was cool as all hell. Thursday, I just kind of like was like, oh, yeah, right. Like this is going to be a pretty neat deal.
A wrestling fan can be quite isolating in a way, because not everyone's into it, or you get the whole, it's fake, right?
Yeah, it's a very out of everything that I've liked in my whole life, there's never been something that I've liked as much as wrestling, and also gets as much judgment from people. Like,
yeah,
the people that love it, but the people that hate it, like, have to make you know that they hate it. And I'm like, why? Like, just don't watch it. Shut the fuck up. Let me watch it.
Exactly. But it's almost like a shared experience with all those other wrestling fans there.
Yeah, 100%.
Because everyone else, they know what you've gone through, because
they did it too.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I had so many conversations with legit strangers and had like pleasant conversations with them. Like, I don't really can't really think of an interaction that I had throughout the 4 days that I was in Perth where it wasn't good. Like, it was just good. Like, it was cool.
I do have to talk about an interaction that we had that was a little bit funny with a complete stranger that has to come after an apology.
Oh, right.
I have to apologise to Hay Street Mall, or is it Murray Street Mall? I don't know.
Murray Street, yeah.
Murray Street Mall's Myers Cleaners for the absolutely abomination bomb job that I did on their bathroom.
Ray was gone for a little while. I was starting to consider, like, should I call missing persons? Like,
I was doing a number on those, doing a number on the bloody the porcelain, but apparently there was this old guy waiting out there going, someone's got to be doing a big shit in there.
Yeah, he was. He was not. He obviously needed to do a shit.
So we were walking out, and this old guy come up to us, said old guy that was just complaining that someone was doing a big shit. It was Daddy. I'm Daddy, by the way. And he comes up to me, he goes, oh, you guys here for the wrestling? I said, yeah, yep, we are. And he goes, oh, how much did you pay for your tickets? I'm like, oh, I can't remember. I don't know. And he's like, oh, yeah, we paid $350 each. We're on the floor. We went to Triple M this morning to see Rhea Ripley, because he obviously went to Triple M and camped out the front just to catch a glimpse of her and Triple H, who were doing media that day, go in there. And I was like, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just having a nice interaction with this old man. I was like, nah, stuff, yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, we got like media passes. So we're actually interviewing her tomorrow. He went, what? How did you get that? I was like, oh, just different content that we do. And he's like, oh, have a good time then. And walked off. I was like...
By the way, the whole interaction I hid behind Ray. Yeah. Like a small child.
Yeah, so he just walked off. I'm like, cool, bro. You went and stalked a woman. It's basically what that story just said. So, yeah, we basically literally chucked laps for 7 hours.
Yeah, basically, pretty much.
When it got really much breakfast.
Thursday was a pretty like mundane day. I don't mean it as like we had food and it was cool. I as tired as I was.
We went to the arcade.
Yeah, I was ready to watch. Like I was. Thursday was still good because I was just like I was tired and I was wiped, but I was like, I'm in Perth. Like the first time, I was getting pretty excited. A lot of nerves were coming over me and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a pretty cool few days. You know what I mean? Like, but we were dead. Like Ray was asleep by like 8:30, if that.
Oh yeah,
Thursday
and
night. I wasn't far
to get to there.
I wasn't far behind him. Trust me, I was. Yeah.
We had planned to go to the superstore when it opened at 12 to kill a bit of time, but we didn't bank on the line being about like 2 kilometers long.
No. So we did go to the superstore
on Thursday.
Yeah, we did. It was later in the afternoon, but it was honestly that overwhelming that I was just like, oh, I just grabbed something and got out of there because there was so many people and they were all moving so fast.
We also did go at a meet and greet time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I was so overwhelmed that I didn't even look over to my right to see the people there.
Yeah. So yeah, we tried to record the podcast, didn't work. Went and got some dinner, ate dinner in our beds, and then basically fell asleep.
Yep.
Introduced Josh to the world of Gogglebox for the first time.
Yes, it was a good time. I was very invested in it. Very invested. I was very invested in the doghouse too. I had comments on all of those people.
Yeah. So then we woke up at fucking ridiculous o'clock because of the time difference kills you. I still think that the Perth time difference is worse than any other time difference in the world.
It's a very odd time difference. Like, not so much coming home. It wasn't as bad, but maybe because we got home late, like it was just like bedtime. But going to Perth was just like, well, I was just
throws you
through a loop. I was like, what day is it? I woke up on Friday because I believe you had woken up first, but I woke up and I was like, like what's going on? Like it was just a very weird experience. But then Friday obviously was the I guess in terms of everything was the most important day, at least for me. Like it was just I got very nervous on Friday morning. I got very nervous. I was like, oh, this can't happen. We kind of went over to Optus and stuff like that. There was a big press conference and stuff. It was hot.
It was
fucking burnt to a crisp. It was hot as all tits. That Perth fire sun it hits very different to here. Very different.
Yeah, definitely. It was like 38 degrees, sun belting, no wind.
It felt like it was about 50. Like it was
it was disgusting.
It was so hot Friday. We did the press conference. It was cool to be like sat out the front, like in the on the chairs out the front, like with the crowd behind us, and like got to experience that. And honestly, if I'm being completely honest, it was very hard for me. Like I enjoyed it a lot, but because I had other things on my mind, I was like, oh, this is getting a little bit too close. Once we got like wristbands and like seeing the different people that were with us for media and stuff like that, I'll say that I got to meet a lot of people over the weekend that I talked to for a long time on the internet, which was pretty neat. I got to meet like 3 Ryans. I don't know why I speak to people. Everyone in my life is named Ryan, but I got to meet a lot of people that I had talked to for years, and it was pretty cool to have. I just forget that we're all coming to the same place, and it's like it was just there was a lot of picture taking that I was doing, which was neat. But yeah. The press conference was fun, but I was like, oh my God, it's getting very, very close. And then they kind of ushered us up into Optus Stadium as a group. They just kind of went, here you go up here, find a spot, bitch. That's basically what the instruction was, which was good. But just like, I was like, whoa, oh my God, here we go. Like, holy shit. And even Ray had said something at some point. He was like, you are nervous because I was pacing. I was nervous.
I was just like, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to add to it, but you were like pacing back and forth and like popping into the guys next to your shot. I'm like, just sort of go that way. I
was nervous as all hell. I will say, to toot my own horn, I'm pretty proud of myself because once I got that first interview, which was Seth, which is wild to say, I kind of just went full like, all right, I'm getting in the zone. And I just kind of did my thing, which was pretty cool. That I kept it together because I was really scared that the nerves were going to get the best of me and I wasn't going to kind of put out what I know I can do. And I was just like, okay, I get it. I'm here. And then it was just kind of like, it was good from there. Once I got through Seth, I was a little bit calmer because I was just in my zone. I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's what I'm here for. It was a pretty neat experience. Not gonna lie,
it was.
And kind of I kind of crushed it, which is good.
I was so starstruck by Seth. I was
Mm.
like, this is Seth freaking Rollins. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, how many times have we been watching something where Seth's done something epic? Or
Mm.
how many times have we commented on, look at what he's wearing? Or
Mm.
how many times have we, and he was like standing half a meter away from you and a meter away from me, and we shook his hand, and I was way too starstruck to take a photo, but like, that's
Yeah,
Seth
I was
freaking
I was just
Rollins.
having a conversation with them
Yeah.
all. Like for me, it was very important and very. It would not only listen. If I never do it again, I was like, I'm gonna make sure I get the people I want to get. Obviously, I wanted everybody, but like the people I want to get to, I was like, I've always prided myself on creating content around women. That's kind of where I've got my bread and butter and where I kind of been picked up by anyone is because of the work I've done focusing on women. I was like, I'm going to make sure that I got to talk to like arguably two of the biggest women stars in the history of the business in Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. And both great conversations. Becky is a hoot to talk to. She is so freaking funny. Bianca
Yeah.
is like the sweetest, kindest soul in the world, where she was just I don't know, she was just very open and warm. And I got to talk to Nia Jax, who was a really fun interview, by the way, very welcoming and very like you could have just chit chatted with her about anything, and I'm pretty certain she would have been like down. She was probably the most, for me at least, what I like with interviews. She was the easiest interview style that I like. She was very just the back and forth between her. She was very like um she was like emoting a lot. She was just very she was fun. But four really really fun interviews, and then of course we had the interaction with Rhea, which kind of like blew up weirdly all over my socials. It was really odd. Gave her the Crom beanie and all that. She appreciated it. We took a photo with her. It was a pretty wild day, to be completely honest.
It was, I think I even posted on social media about it because
Yeah.
that's how, like, it was such a surreal day. Like, we didn't get to talk to Kevin Owens, but I was standing right next to Kevin Owens, who's one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. We, Becky Lynch, we had an interaction with her. Bianca Belair. The thing that I'll take away from it the most, though, Grayson Waller, like, you know how much of a Grayson Waller fan I am, and he was just like right there, and he was so passionate about it. And the guys next to us were interviewing him, and he had a bit of a crack at them about something they asked him, and was just like, he really cares about this. Like, this is his whole life. So it was a real surreal day. We had the interaction with Rhea, which was cool. But the thing that I took away from it most, I think, is how they play camera tricks on us, man, because they were not big. You see these
No,
people on
some of them were
TV
very
and you're
short.
like Bianca, she was
Short as
wearing
hell.
5-inch heels and she was the same height as you.
And I'm a short boy, everybody. For anyone that hasn't seen me in person, I'm about 5'4". Like I'm
Yeah, she
short.
was tiny.
Yeah.
Even Becky was wearing the biggest of platforms and she was my height. And I'm not tall by any stretch of the
No.
imagination. And it's just like, they must play these camera tricks, or I guess next to each other they look even bigger, because Rhea wasn't much bigger than me and she looks like a mammoth
Rhea wasn't
on the
huge.
TV.
Like they all, don't get us wrong, we're not selling them short. They're all very jacked people. Like Bianca Belair is a physically intimidating woman. Like she was jacked.
I put my arm around her for a photo. It was like holding onto a boulder. She is all muscle.
Yeah. Tiffany Stratton, by the way.
It's Tiffy time.
Wow, she was over as Rover, and that was the weird thing that I took away from the weekend. She is a physically impressive specimen.
Yeah.
She was walking around, I'm like, this woman is ripped.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but yeah, really crazy day on Thursday.
Friday.
Weird. Like I posted everything Friday night, and then went to bed Friday. Woke up Saturday, and I woke up to a lot of stuff. My social media was popping off. My clips went like Fightful picked up my interviews. One of the clips with my Becky Lynch interview went semi-viral. The Rhea stuff went pretty viral. A lot of my I got interactions from people that I never thought I'd get interactions to. I woke up from DMs from people. that I never thought I'd wake up to. Like, it was just wild stuff. Like, I was not expecting all of it. I got a lot of good feedback about all of my stuff. They were like, you probably need to do more of this. And I was like, yeah, well, I've never felt so natural and comfortable at something in my entire life. I just woke up to a lot of love. It was very overwhelming. And then, like, Saturday, I will say, after all of that, and after all of that kind of, I got through everything and sifted through and kind of had a moment to breathe and just be like, whoa, that was pretty cool what I did yesterday, et cetera, et cetera. You know, for me, I got to live out something that I wanted to do since I was a legitimate kid. Like, I had stuff wrote down from my mum found when I was like 9 or 10 years old that I had wrote down, like, I want to be the person that holds a microphone that interviews wrestlers and stuff. And I got to do that. So, you know, people have different dreams in life. That was mine. So, you know, if I die tomorrow, I've lived out a dream that I've had since I was a little kid. So that's pretty neat. I shed a lot of tears Monday because it just kind of like a wave of emotion hit me of like what I did and the people that recognized me and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people, you know, followed me over the weekend and stuff like that and was like, oh, this dude just got an opportunity out of nowhere. It's like, no, I've been working real hard for a really long time, even obviously way before I even knew Ray and anything like that. Like, before he knew who I was, like, I had been putting a lot of time, effort, and money in to get an opportunity like that. And it was pretty cool just to be like patted on the back for it. Because there's a lot of times in content creation where you do everything and you get nothing in return and you just keep going and going to get nothing, and it's like cool to get something. But once all that kind of wore off and I kind of had my moment on Saturday morning just to kind of like take it all in, the excitement started to build a little bit more of like, oh, wait a minute, now the fun, like the worky part of just like the stress of all that, and you know, not that it wasn't fun, but just like the build up to all that was a lot for me. Then it was like, oh, we get to go to the Elimination Chamber tonight. We kind of like, I went off on Saturday morning and I met up with a few people that I'd known, and I was like, me and Ray were like, let's separate for a bit. And met up with some people and we just kind of like separated for the morning, and then we met back up in the afternoon. But Perth, it was interesting because Thursday and Friday, sunny skies, hot as all tits. And then Saturday it was like, let's rain for a little bit. And we're like, really? The one day where we probably don't want it to rain is now raining. But I will say by the afternoon, it was humid. It was humid as all hell.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot. But I think that's where everything caught. That was the one time of the weekend when we actually got to the show that I was like, I wasn't just my normal like laid back self. I was like, holy shit, I've been watching pay-per-views and premium live events for a long time, and they've always been a massive deal. And every time I've ever seen wrestling's been one of those lame-ass house shows. But this is the first time I get to go to a show where it actually means something to the stories that I literally care about. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are things that you invest in. Well, like, I know I'm emotionally invested in a lot of them. So this one was like, oh shit, like, that's when it hit me, and we got to watch the Women's Chamber. I must say, like, a big arena like that, you can't see shit, but it's not about that. It's about the atmosphere.
I
and
couldn't
the
give a
chants
shit
and
if I was like, I couldn't. I barely could see in the, a little bit here and there. We could see in the ring. We couldn't see entrances or anything like that. But it was about the atmosphere of it all. Like, it was cool to be in there. We got to see a lot of Australian talent, which was cool. We got to see Indy Hartwell in the kickoff match, which was fun. She got like a nice, like, yay, it's Indy, yay. And then the Women's Chamber kicked a lot of ass. Like, it was a lot of fun. There was really nothing bad on the show by any stretch of the word. It was all pretty fun. Crowd was lively. We were lively. It was a fun night. Lots of pyro, lots of fireworks. It was just like, wah!
I do have to admit something to you. I don't know how well I hit it or not, but like, I've told you on here before, and we've spoken about what Cody Rhodes sort of represents for me, and how much like I just love Cody Rhodes. When the lights went out and the wrestling has more than one royal family started, I like welled up a little bit and got like tight in the chest, and I was like, oh my god, I think I'm about to cry here because that's freaking Cody Rhodes. Like, he means so much to me, and he like, not in like, I don't even know the guy, but like what he represents and the relationship that me and my son have because of a toy or talking about him. Like, as soon as that music hit, I was like, oh fucking hell, like I'm about to cry here. Which is crazy.
Oh yeah, I had many moments like that where I was like, ugh. See, that to me is like, for you, that's cool that you got to experience that, because I got to experience that because it wasn't lost on me that I was watching a premium live event main evented by women. I was like,
Yeah.
this is great for me. This is perfect. I got to see more women's matches than I did men's matches at the show.
Yeah.
It was just, I was like, not that it was, but in my mind, I was like, this is made for me. Like, this is what I want. And I guess where we can kind of meet in the middle, Ray, like you had your Cody moment, I had the women's stuff. Hearing in a main event of a pay-per-view, like they're saying like from Adelaide, South Australia,
Yeah.
fucking hell, that got me. I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, like we're watching something so cool. Like, she's the selling point of this pay-per-view, or at least what they're basing it around. And that's cool. Like, two people from Adelaide, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, Rhea was outstanding all weekend. Every press event she was the face of, and she just killed it. Like,
her and Nia had a good time too. I thought it was great. I thought everything was great. It's different when you're there and when you're not there, because I think a dud pay-per-view you could still probably watch and be like, that was so fun because you're there. I watched it on Monday and I was like, this actually tracks pretty well. Like, I had
all the matches
just as much
were good.
fun. Yeah, I had just as much fun watching it back at home than I did when I was there, because it's just it's a different experience. And it's cool kind of being there and then watching it after and hearing the commentary and hearing like how the crowd sounds on television, because sometimes that doesn't track. And as someone who was at Super Showdown back in 2018, two vastly different experiences for me. I think maybe I had way more of an emotional attachment to this one than I did Super Showdown, just because of what the weekend was to me personally, just with everything that kind of coincided. But then there was different things at Super Showdown where I was like, I've never experienced a stadium show before. Like, that was my first that was my first time in the MCG. Like, that was like, it was cool. It was different. I got to see a little bit more of like my childhood love of like, we got to see people like The Undertaker and Triple H, and, you know, got to experience that. This was a little bit more of like, the product is really hot and there's not a better time to be going and watching the product than right now. It was two vastly different experiences. Very cool in their own way, but it was just a very fun time.
2018, 2017?
Yeah, 2018.
2018.
The product was not hot. The only thing that was really good at that time was Becky. She was on the rise. I got to see her, but the show was different. It wasn't a house show by any stretch of the words. It was you know, on the network and stuff like that, but it wasn't treated as like it was a part of the storylines, but it wasn't like, at the same time. It was like weird in between.
It was like the first of the Saudi shows.
Yeah, it was just like, it mattered, but it also kind of didn't. Like, it was weird. It was still cool to be there, but it was two very different experiences. Now, coming out of the show was a nightmare.
That was literally
the worst time I've ever had.
Yeah. We had to walk for about 3Ks, probably more, to try and get an Uber. We couldn't get an Uber to pick us up. And then I just happened to be stomping along angrily that we couldn't find an Uber, and found a taxi, stopped at a light, and was like, "Oi, mate, can we jump in?"
He's eating an apple.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, you don't mind I'm eating my dinner." I'm like, "Oh, you do you, bro.
Just get us to the hotel."
Yeah, just get us back. I'm sick of being out right now. It's humid.
It was hot.
Did the rookie mistake of wearing jeans.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't. I'm really glad I didn't.
I was sweating up a storm.
Out, it was just like, just let me sleep. Like, I had enough at that point. I was really thirsty. Like, I hadn't had a lot of water. I was just like, I just need to drink something and go to sleep. That's all I wanted to do. And then I'm not even kidding, as soon as my head hit the pillow, just before I fell asleep, all I was thinking about was like, get me the fuck home.
Yeah, I was ready.
I'm done with being away. I want to see my cat. I want to be in my bed. Like I just and I was just tired because I think like the Friday and Saturday I really didn't have a chance to be exhausted because it was just go, go, go. Just so much stuff, so many people to see, so many things to do. By the time the show was over and it kind of, we were walking out and like it worn off a little bit of like being there, I was just like, all right, get me on a plane and get me out of here.
Yeah. So yeah, it was that. And then Sunday morning we had a big old long wait to the end of the day.
Ugh.
We found a cool little video game museum that was fun.
Then it just got overwhelming with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, there was a kids party there, and there was people everywhere. So we left there. I went back to the arcade, won some more tickets, bought a whole bunch of pops with all my tickets.
I just went for a walk and was like, I'm just gonna go for a little wander, get some food, et cetera, et cetera. I went and sat in the lobby of the hotel for a little while, and then we linked up again. We're like, let's just go to the airport because we were just, my phone was nearly dead. I was like, I've got to get out of here. And then we went to the airport, just hung around there, able to charge our shit. Then we heard the dreaded word delay, but luckily it was only for like maybe 15 minutes. But we heard the word delay, and me and Ray both looked at each other and were like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
Yeah, I didn't have a delay in me at all.
Nope. I was like, I was trying to time it in my brain of when the fuck we were going to land from the time that we got back in Ray's car till I could get in my car and get on the road and get home. And I'm not like driving late at night on my own because, you know, it is kind of dangerous when you're a little bit tired and you're on your own. Like, you never know what's going to happen. Didn't care this time. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't leave. I don't believe I got in my car until just after 11:30.
Yeah, I don't know what time it was.
It was late though.
Yeah, it was late. Oh, it was
late. It was late. And by the way, the whole ride home, the whole drive home to location unknown, it was a car followed me the whole way from just outside of Port Adelaide all the way to where I live.
Yeah, right.
It was very weird. I was like, this car has been up my ass this entire time.
Was it a police officer?
We just happened to be going to the same place. Not like the same house, but like, you know what I mean? Like the same vicinity. Yeah.
So yeah, that was our weekend. We got home and I woke up, did the tough carry to go to work the next day.
I didn't. I slept in. I think I woke up and it was like, I think I woke up and it was like 7 and I was like, this isn't happening. So I closed my eyes back and I think it was about 8:45 and I was like, all right, I'll get up. I was so excited to see my cat. Holy shit. For the 15 minutes that I was awake when I got home, oh my God, what a great time it was. Don't ever want to leave her again. Going to again in a few weeks for Gather Round, but that's okay. So yeah. I also got to do some stuff with 2K over the weekend. I didn't get to go to their event and stuff like that, but I got chatting with the main social guy there, and it was good to catch up with him. I was very happy with what I did for him. So that was neat. It was a very eye-opening weekend for me, personally. I was like, oh, I got to really step up a little bit and really try to have a crack at this stuff. Because now I have a little bit of credibility and a little bit of like a good reel to be like, hey, can I interview you? Because I've also interviewed Becky fucking Lynch.
Yeah.
Which was neat.
Yeah.
Which was neat. So yeah, but yeah, I'm feeling it. Not so much today. Today is probably the first day where I've been like, I'm all right. Yesterday I was still pretty wiped. Yesterday was my first day back at work. Yeah, I was pretty wiped yesterday. Monday I was really bad. Oh my God.
Yes. So yeah, that was our weekend. That was not much has happened since, I tell you what.
I've been on a chill. I've been waiting for 2K24 to get in my lap in the next week or so. I cannot wait to start playing that. Footy is back next week, Ray. What the fuck?
Well, round 0 anyway.
It's still footy. Footy's back next week.
4
Opening
games.
round. I'm excited for that. Get it back in the footy season. Before you know it, we'll be back at Adelaide Oval. We'll be back watching Crows games. We'll be back doing all that. It'll be gather around. It'll be WrestleMania. What is going on? There's a lot to look forward to.
I've got annual leave over WrestleMania. I wasn't going to miss that Monday show.
No.
Because that's going to be Cody's time. I hope. Yes, so I don't know.
Pretty neat. We didn't do a question this week. Should we wrap up the show with a question?
I'm going to be honest with you. My laptop is not in the room, and that is what I have all the questions on, because I've been using it for work, so it is not in here at the moment, so I cannot.
Fantastic. That doesn't even matter to me. We had a lot to get through on this show. We knew this show was all gonna be about Perth, which is fine. Yep. Now, I'm gonna be very honest, and sorry to all the people that like it, and sorry to all the people that live there, but unless I have a reason to go again, I ain't fucking going back to Perth, I can tell you that.
No, I'm not the biggest Perth fan either.
Nope.
The weekend, if that show was in Melbourne, the weekend would have cost about
half of the price.
$1,200 less.
Mm-hmm. It was very expensive. Listen, I am glad that I got to kind of go, okay, I've been to Perth, cool. But yeah, unless I have a legit reason to be over there, your boy's not going back.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Yeah. I think, though, that they're the only ones that can afford to buy WWE.
Who knows? But very expensive place. There is a beauty in it, but yeah, it's a very, very interesting place. And now it's just like, and I'm not gonna lie, Ray, 2 days out from coming back from Perth yesterday, and what have I done? Booked a trip to Melbourne.
Yeah, right. Nice.
Later in the year.
Yeah, right.
So, but I love Melbourne, and it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg. You know what I mean? Like,
no, well, you can drive to Melbourne.
I could drive to Melbourne. I'm not, but I can. You know, it's cheap. Well, not cheap, but you know what I mean. Cheap in the terms of like you can just go away there for 3 days and not really stress too much.
Although, having said that, a bunch of years ago, BD, before divorce, we were looking to go to Melbourne for about 5 days over our holidays, but it turned out cheaper for us to go to Thailand for 10 days.
I mean, yeah, places like that. I mean, sure, but I like Melbourne. Melbourne is a great time. I love Melbourne.
Yeah, I do too. I love Melbourne too, but
Melbourne's fun.
Yeah, sometimes it's cheaper to see the world. Anyway, let's see if I can crush this outro, even though we haven't had a question. I'm not going to go get my laptop to ask a question.
Oh, well. 25 episodes. We didn't have an episode last week, so this is a little bit of a 2-week break, I guess. Week break, whatever you want to call it. We don't have to have a question. We'll have it next week. We might even do 2 next week.
We'll double up next week. So A2O Podcast on all your social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X if you're nasty. Go to Apple Podcast or Spotify. Listen, share us with your friends. Hit follow, hit subscribe. Go check out Josh's YouTube for all the video versions at Josh Robinson 00. Check out his socials under the same name. Check out Mo's socials. It'll be very underwhelming. It'll just be reposts of Josh's socials. The end. Goodbye. Was that a good one?
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. You didn't stutter at all, which is good.
I'm practicing. I've got a presentation tomorrow night, so I've been practicing.
Exactly. So you've got to you crushed it. But
actually, can I tell you something? Let's talk about this quickly. So you've heard me on here. I can talk shit with the best of them. There is no limit to the amount of shit that I can talk, and about a vast range of subjects. I've got something up my sleeve for anything. And you've heard me on the Crowjet go absolutely ham for hours on end on there. I am terrified of public speaking.
Oh, my wheelhouse. Love it.
So tomorrow I'm doing a presentation for 40 engineers on seismic ratings for stuff. So a room of highly intelligent people that are probably a lot smarter than me about something that I'm just sort of almost bluffing my way through is petrifying to speak like give a presentation on. I could speak like this in front of people till the cows come home. But this is, I'm not a great public speaker. So, see if I can get a few laughs.
I'm
See if I
sure
can
you'll
put
be
a
fine.
few dick jokes in there.
We'll see. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So,
Cool.
I'll have the report on that next week.
Next week. And I'll have nothing to say next week because I've said everything. Nah, I have something to say. We'll talk about, surely. All right, friends.
All right.
Guten
See ya.
Tagen. Goodbye.
Bye.